Can you imagine? This is really bizarre. An officer-involved shooting with a 19-year-old teenager because he drew a gun on the officer. Okay. Number one, you don't do that. Number two, you're out causing problems and stealing vehicles and whatever the case may be. Anyway, the very next day, the father of the teen that was shot runs down and kills the police officer. This is just completely unbelievable and uncalled for. I'm going to let this play out, so let's jump into it.
Now give us an update to the deadly police shooting in East Price Hill yesterday.
It all started as officers investigated 4 people for stealing a car. Let's go to that press conference. Cincinnati Mayor Aftab Pureval at the podium now.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. Before I start with the presentation itself, I want to say, when an incident like this one that happened yesterday occurs, the impact is felt long after the moment itself. The emotional toll doesn't end quickly. It lingers with the families, the officers, and the community for an extended period of time. Officers across the country confront dangerous situations every day, sometimes more than once a day. They are often compelled to make split-second decisions to protect others and themselves when faced with immediate threats. Yesterday was one of those occurrences. Let me be very direct. We cannot allow individuals to flee from officers with a loaded firearm aimed at them.
That's correct.
When this happens, the outcome is almost always tragic.
It is.
No one wins, and everyone involved is affected. As I review the sequence of events from yesterday, you'll see exactly how rapidly these things evolved, and it will permanently alter the lives of everyone involved. So to give you an idea, this is 2500 Warsaw. I'm going to step out in front for a minute. Warsaw Avenue is down here. This is the long driveway, goes up a hill. Where the incident occurred is at the dead end of the parking lot back here. You'll see vehicles there now. You'll see a photo. The stolen car that we're going to talk about was backed into a parking spot back there. As you can see, this is a stolen Kia. It was stolen out of northern Kentucky yesterday. You can see we have 2 uniformed cars there. Prior to those uniformed cars arriving, we had 2 undercover cars that pulled into that dead end, saw the vehicle. They backed out. They saw that there were individuals inside the vehicle, so they backed out and let the uniformed cars make the approach, which is the tactically sound decision to do. The cars are positioned the way the officers are trained. We are trained to use our vehicles as cover from any threat. That's what those officers did with the cars at that time. This is body-worn camera from officer number 2. Go ahead, Bobby.
Okay, so you're looking at officer number 2, gun drawn, circling around to the Kia behind this trash can right now. We've dropped the audio because we are told there is some cursing, some swearing in this, and we don't want to have that aired. But you're seeing the perspective from this officer approaching the suspect.
All 4 individuals get out and start running, some in different directions. So officers decide which individual they're going to pursue. One officer decides to pursue the individual who we now know had a firearm in his hand. The other officer pursued another occupant that fled from the vehicle, and that'll be significant here in a moment when you see. So this is a still image. Again, I'm going to step out front. The car is parked over this way, okay? They are chasing the individual. So officer number 1 is chasing this guy right here. Okay, this is the guy we ultimately end up shooting. The other officer who actually fires the shot on this individual is chasing a different individual further out this way, in this direction. Okay? As this officer is chasing him, he sees a firearm in his hand and he yells, "Gun, gun," he's got a gun. This individual slips, trips, whatever, falls on the concrete right here. Other officers that were also there say in their interview, they heard the firearm hit the concrete. They heard the metal from the firearm hit the concrete. This individual gets up, still has the firearm in his hand, and continues to run through the dumpsters. Go ahead, Bob.
Again, we're bringing the audio down because there is potentially language that we do not want aired. And just a warning, we have been told that this video is not blurred. We don't know how much of this they are planning on showing. We just want to give you that heads up.
This officer knows that there's another officer here that is going to ultimately encounter him when he comes through the dumpsters. So he makes him aware of that. He shouts out to him, "On your right, on your right." He's on your right. And that's where this individual comes out from between the dumpsters. This is the other officer, the one who fires the shot. This is his body camera as he approaches the scene.
All right, again, bringing the audio down here, and this video is not blurred. This is the first time we are seeing this, as well as many of you.
So the police chief was describing how they called out to each other that this suspect was going to be running through the dumpsters. This officer had circled back behind there, anticipating, and that's when he does fire those shots that ended up being deadly. Let's listen back into the chief.
Chasing. It's just a photo of it here at Criminalistics. Remember I told you he fell on the concrete and the officer said that they heard the metal hit the ground? There are 3 spots on here where this gun has scratches on it. We believe those occurred when he hit the ground with the firearm.
And if you look real close, you see the safety is off. So he was going to fire.
What type of firearm is that, Chief?
Semi-automatic. I don't know the make and model. This is a second. Sorry, Bobby, can you go back 1 frame, please? This magazine was in the firearm. That's an extended magazine, so it holds more rounds.
Safety's off.
Go ahead. This is a second magazine that was located in his sweatshirt pocket, his jacket pocket. And that is the magazine from that second magazine.
You know, these guys, there was 4 of them. All that ammo, extended magazine, they weren't out just to have fun. They were out on a mission. And, you know, if you're living under your parents' roof, the parents still need to be held responsible. It's the parents' fault. I don't care what anybody says. I just don't care.
This is another firearm that was located inside the stolen vehicle. This is a firearm that was also stolen out of northern Kentucky sometime yesterday, early yesterday morning. Approximately, we believe, based on timelines, this was stolen from a vehicle in northern Kentucky, and then they went on to steal the vehicle that's involved in the incident.
Ooh.
So because we are still attempting to 100% verify the individual's identity, the individual who we shot, we're going to list him as John Doe until we can 100% verify that for you. The other 3 individuals that were in the car all ran. This was an extensive search for these individuals. I don't know if anybody's familiar with 2500 Warsaw. It is steep
Do the
terrain,
math.
both directions from that parking lot, heavily wooded. They ran into that area in different directions, and we happen to have as hours of the day that we had several canines available and our drone operators available. So we deployed both of those, got some assistance from community members who were calling us, and we ultimately apprehended this gentleman as well as this gentleman. We still have another person we're looking for. We are attempting to positively identify him, and we'll continue to search for him. As you know, per Marcy's law, we're not going to reveal the officers' names, the officers who were involved, but here is their information. Been on almost 11 years, fugitive apprehension. Been on almost 24 years, fugitive apprehension. This is the scene afterwards. I want to point out this incident, from the time they bailed from the vehicle and police were chasing them to the time the individual was shot, 6 seconds. 6 quick seconds. But the officer's responsibility didn't end there. They did very admirably trying to save this gentleman's life by administering different variations of medical aid until the fire department responded. And this is the, you can see the medical debris, and then this is where the firearm was.
A retired sheriff's deputy is dead after police say a driver intentionally hit him. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Tricia Mackey.
And I'm Rob Williams. Cincinnati police say the driver is the father of an 18-year-old who was shot and killed by police yesterday.
We have been following this story all day, and we have team coverage tonight.
Allie Hennard is at UC Medical Center.
Brady Williams attended a procession for the deputy.
But first, let's send it over to Allie with more on how this all unfolded.
Well, Rob, Tricia, that's right. So the deputy lost his life to those injuries here at UC Medical Center earlier today. Now, we do know, according to Cincinnati Police Chief Teresa Thigi, the driver of the vehicle that hit and killed the deputy was the father of the man killed in an officer-involved shooting yesterday. Now, police say that he's been arrested for aggravated murder.
Driver of today's vehicle that struck a deputy as a family relationship.
You know, if you ask me, I'm not an attorney or anything like that. That's premeditated. He did this the next day. The father of the teen that was shot, he did this the next day. It's premeditated. It's capital punishment. That's where you go and ride the lightning.
With the 18-year-old that we shot yesterday.
Cincinnati police say the father of the 18-year-old who was shot and killed by Cincinnati police on Thursday was driving the car that hit and killed a deputy Friday afternoon. Rodney Hinton Jr. is now charged with aggravated murder for the deputy's death.
Go medical! Go medical! We need to shut down right now! Officer down! Officer down!
Cincinnati police say the deputy was directing traffic ahead of UC's graduation ceremony when he was struck by a vehicle entering the intersection. It happened around 1 p.m. at the intersection of Martin Luther King Drive and Burnett Woods Drive near UC's campus.
I think what is significant for people to know about this accident is the officer was just out doing his job, directing traffic up near the University of Cincinnati for what was supposed to be a glorious day for many.
After 2 critical incidents in 2 days, Chief Thigi made a plea to the public.
Let the processes play out. Let the investigations
They got to do
play
something.
out. Keep calm. Take care of one another. And I can assure you, as the Chief of Police for Cincinnati, I will ensure you transparency and a thorough and accurate investigation.
The deputy had recently retired from the department in December. Well, investigators said that this afternoon that he is in critical condition but is alive. Again, he has been charged, or rather arrested, for aggravated murder of hitting and killing that deputy. It is not clear when he will be in court, but again, this is a developing story. We will continue to keep you updated. At UC Medical Center with photojournalist Chris Waldman, Allie Hennard, Fox 19 Now.